In this video, I'm giving you 5 ways you can improve your posture when you're working from home. They're going to be easy to integrate into your daily routine and won't take too much effort. Tip number 1, think about how you're sat down. Most people, when they're sat on any form of chair, tip their pelvis into what we call a posterior pelvic tilt. So the pelvis is tipping backwards and the spine is turning into a C shape. They then stay locked in this position for multiple hours of the day. When you're sat like this, what's happening is you're putting pressure through your pelvis and your spine, but you're not really using any of the muscles around your pelvis and spine to keep you upright. This is not about pulling your shoulders backwards. This is about rolling your pelvis forward. So if you think that you sit like this, from your pelvis, pivot yourself up. This is what we call sitting in extension. And you can see that my spine just automatically goes in a more straight and upright position. Try and hold yourself like this as much as you possibly can. If you're somebody that spends a lot of time like this, try and hold yourself like this. It might feel like lots of hard work to start with, and that's because the muscles around here are currently quite weak, but actually as time goes on, you should find that you get stronger and stronger in this position. This becomes easier. This is using muscles, and this is not you dunking into your joints and bones. Tip number 2, do you know that you sit cross-legged the entire time? You probably have got a favourite way of crossing your legs, whether that be the right over the left and wide like this, crossed like so, or vice versa. If you spend hours and hours a day over multiple years with a preference in this cross-legged situation, this is going to have an impact on your muscles. One side is going to be doing something different to the other, and it's going to get locked in this position. So whilst it's my preference that you don't sit with cross legs, because this is going to be keeping things a bit more even and happy and balanced, if you do have to sit with cross legs, and I get it, it's quite tempting to do it, make sure that you're regularly swapping from side to side. So if you do this with me now, you'll probably notice that you've got one side that's actually fairly open and the other is much tighter. So I know that my left side, when I do this, is much, much tighter than my right, because for X amount of years, I spent lots of time being sat like this, and now I have to correct it. So think about stopping crossing your legs, but also mixing up so that it's even from side to side. Tip number 3, did you see what happened there? When I stood up from my chair, I was using my hands to push me off and to give my body the momentum that I needed to get myself up. What I really should be doing is using the muscles in my legs and in my hips to power myself upwards without relying on an external source to have to lean and push off from. So when you're getting up and down from your chair, really think about, do I always put my hand out and push myself off something, or am I using the muscles in my legs and in my glutes to power myself upwards using my muscles? Tip number 4, get out of your chair. There are no rules that just because you're working, you have to be sat in a chair at a table. One of the biggest reasons that all of our bodies are in such a pickle is because of the fact that we sit in chairs from a really young age for multiple hours of the day. When I'm working from home, I choose to mix up my position as much as I possibly can. There's so much that you can do to keep your body fidgeting and not just locked in that flexed forward chair shape. Tip number 5, think about your footwear. When you're working from home, you have the flexibility to wear whatever you like. No one's going to see it and no one's going to judge you. My favourite footwear of choice? Absolutely none. We spend our entire lives wearing shoes which stop our feet from moving functionally, keeping all the muscles nice and mobile and supple in our feet, and really this can have an impact on our body's function all over. So a very, very simple way to improve your posture without doing anything special whatsoever is to take off your shoes, take off your slippers, and take off your socks. And if you want to, you can invest in a pair of these. They are toe separators and they cost me about £4 off Amazon. What they're doing is they're stretching all the little muscles in between my toes out, and they're teaching my narrow pointed foot to be wider and more human shaped. So there you have it. 5 top tips for improving your posture when you're working from home. You don't need to make massive differences to how you live your day to make massive differences on how your body reacts to your day.